Hi, beautiful souls. There's a lot of noise right now. Timelines, speculation, and emotional highs and lows. This channel isn't about fear or urgency. It's about discernment, clarity, and staying grounded while life continues. Take a breath, settle your energy, and let's move forward calmly and consciously.
Week, and I think the message is really clear. Message number one, the Biden economy was a disaster. Inflation was 22% over 4 years. Wages didn't keep up. It put enormous pressure on working families. Point number two, the first year of the Trump administration has made enormous progress. The average inflation during Biden was 5%. Under Trump, it's 2.7%. But the important thing is wages were 4%. So people have more money in their pockets than they did a year ago, but they're still feeling a lot of pressure. And in the new year, I think they're going to see a lot more money in their pockets because of the big, beautiful bill and the things that are in there, the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime, the fact that there's a child care tax credit. But we got to keep focused on the president's agenda, deregulation, energy dominance, and I think that's what the story will be about. Progress, but we know you're feeling some pain, and we got to keep pushing.
That it was stupid to mask 3-year-olds at the height of the COVID pandemic. I believed in this crazy conspiracy theory that the media and the government were covering up the fact that Joe Biden was clearly unable to do the job. Turns out that a conspiracy theory is just something that was true 6 months before the media admitted it.
The same people that call us crazy cover up the stories that matter. COVID, the open border, Somali fraudsters stealing billions, Biden's brain. The media goes mute until it's too late. Now CNN wants to repent for their sins by talking about Trump's health.
We cover it all the time on my show, all the time. And I think that is to a large degree because we saw what happened with Biden, and while we covered it, we didn't cover it. Maybe we didn't ask as many questions as we should have at the time.
It's not just Tapper. The New York Times just dropped a report on Pelosi's stock trading as she's on her way out the door. Pelosi resisted stock trading ban as wealth grew, fueling suspicion. Yeah, they reported over the past 3 years, Miss Pelosi's reported a trade volume of $56.9 million. And that Pelosi couldn't shake off the impression that she was potentially benefiting from information that regular Americans did not have access to. Come on, Primetime's been covering this for years. You waited until she's retiring to investigate. While they were giving Pelosi a pass, another story was blowing up in Minnesota. Hundreds of millions in taxpayer dollars stolen by Somali fraudsters. The media didn't touch it until Walz and Kamala lost. The people who were robbed didn't even know it. Now they want a refund.
Yeah, it pisses me off. It's not cool. And if anything, I want my money back. I feel like they just don't care about the little people.
Either, you have the worst accountants in the entire world, or you just don't care.
The media didn't report on Pelosi until she hung up her gloves. They stayed silent on Biden's health until he unraveled on the debate stage. They let Tampon walk while Somalis stole your money. And when they do touch a real story, they leave out the parts that matter. David Muir covered the New York terror plot that's been broken up, but left out a key detail: the suspect's radical left-wing motives.
Back here in the U.S. tonight, the Justice Department says it has foiled an alarming New Year's Eve terror plot. They say 4 suspects were planning to fill backpacks with pipe bombs and detonate them at midnight on New Year's Eve at 5 locations in Southern California. The FBI and Homeland Security officials have been warning the nation's police to be on alert with the holidays approaching.
The media doesn't even investigate Democrats. They cover for them until it's safe to throw them under the bus. But by then, it's too little, too late.
All right, guys, really insane, massive pumps across the board. Filecoin's up almost 100%. Litecoin's up 20%. Big moves coming from XRP, Ethereum. But guess what's flat? Bitcoin. Isn't that really, really interesting? I always tell you to diversify, that the MARKZs are wrong. Think about it, putting all your eggs in one basket. Now, look, I love Bitcoin. I own a lot of Bitcoin. I always tell people to have 60, 70% of their portfolios in Bitcoin. But how do you explain the fact that Peter Thiel now says Bitcoin is co-opted by the deep state? Everything else is pumping but Bitcoin. Again, I love Bitcoin, own Bitcoin, buy Bitcoin, but it proves my point. These other assets are extremely valuable. I've been pumping XRP, for example, since it was under 20 cents, guys. Since it was under 20 freaking cents. Think about that for a minute. Shocking. Huge news as well. Elon Musk has revealed massive flying cars coming by the end of the year. Their stock shareholder meeting happened yesterday. A huge display of robots dancing everywhere. Robots are coming and are going to, cure all kinds of diseases, according to Elon Musk, replace all human surgeons, according to Elon Musk. And think about this, too. He says he's going to eliminate all poverty. Now, Elon Musk also has been awarded a $1 trillion pay package into the golden age of 2026. This is the quarter centennial, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to think about this quarter centennial of the greatest country in the world next year of 1776. It's a gilded age that Donald Trump has promised. Again, they're going to pump all their bags. They're going to pump all their bags. Eric Trump's going to pump his freaking Trump bags. Trump's going to pump his freaking Trump bags. Literally, there's marble on the floors of the toilets at the White House right now. 24 karat gold. We've got a massive UFC fight. June next year. Peace in the Middle East. Prosperity. Soon a deal will be struck with Ukraine. This is the perfect storm. This is the roaring freaking 20s. This is what a lot of you guys are missing. You've missed the fact that we're going up only, ladies and gentlemen. The beginning of the greatest era of American and human civilizational history is here. George Jetson-style flying cars. The great AI replacement, of course, a move to universal basic income, and even 3i, all-seeing eye Atlas, the comet, is hiding behind the sun right now. By December 19, 2025, Harvard scientists are now telling us this could be a mothercraft alien spaceship. Not my words, but theirs. Watch it. I posted the video on Fox News. Even if you just look at it from a lore perspective, or you look at it metaphysically or from a metaphorical perspective, it's valuable. There's insight. You need to expand your mind. Again, what is cryptocurrency? What is blockchain? It was seeded from artificial intelligence, the AI, the alien invasion. And what is the currency? What is the new monetary system that's going to replace U.S. fiat dead dollars in the trash? Again, Elon wasn't able to get rid of any debt of the U.S. national debt because we're screwed. The whole system is screwed. The whole system's crony. People like Nancy Pelosi and others retiring, one of the greatest hedge fund managers to ever live. So what's happening next? Trump, again, is replacing the U.S. debt with stable coins, back 1-to-1 by the USD that they can't pay back, the 40+ trillion. That is the setup to print even more digital currencies to then buy Bitcoin, crypto, ETH, XRP, Litecoin, the list goes on and on. So I'm so bullish all these assets, RSR, because we know that this is the new system. Even BlackRock tells you to your face, Larry Fink, that used to call crypto a scam, that tokenization is the future of money and technology and the entire modern financial system. They're going to tokenize stocks. We're tokenizing real estate. We're the first people to do this, beach and ocean front. And this is just all that's happening today. Like and share, AMTV Media. Make sure you follow me on X now.
Sudani saying the people in Iraq purchasing power within the fourth quarter. Richard, I've not seen any comment. He had made the comments before that it would happen in the fourth quarter of this year. I won't be upset if it goes early into the first quarter next, but he's been pushing hard. There's a lot going on in Iraq, a lot of back and forth. We'll talk about that this morning. Serious, hard push to go ahead and get that position filled, meaning Sudani's former position, which I believe is going to be his position again. There's a lot of pressure going on right now. 5 years ago, Iraq did a rate change, wrong direction that year, if I remember correctly. It's when they went from 11-something to 14. Was it 1152 to 1400? Iraq did a rate change. The date was December 20th. They do like this time of year historically for rate changes. Ask Mr. C that question, but his opinion is the overwhelming majority of countries are in it. Keeping in mind that the overwhelming majority of countries will not see much, if any, or no substantial change in their values. In my opinion, it's not based on some kind of inside knowledge, not based on somebody saying, it's just based on me from, the nosebleed seats looking down at this thing. If you want Venezuela to be part of this first one, that means the whole thing's going to be delayed because nothing is settled there. It's going to take some time, months at the least. Realistically, probably a couple years. So ask yourself, how badly do you want? Do you want the whole thing to wait just for them to be ready? That's kind of my fear with it. They're just not going to be ready, and I don't want to have to wait for everything else. We have folks in Venezuela, so I don't think things are happening faster in Venezuela than what is being reported. Trey, what do I think the Indonesian currency will come in at? I shouldn't say most of, all of my sources believe it's coming in at $1.47 US. What it really comes out at, we're going to find out. Just like the description said, no word on bonds. You want to talk about chomping at the bit? I am chomping on the bit over that one.
Breaking. President Trump says Venezuela is completely surrounded by the largest armada ever assembled in the history of South America. I am ordering a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers going into and out of Venezuela. Posted by @BRICS News. Awesome! TL at Coach Timothy YT on X posted 8:50 a.m. 17 December 2025. Awesome! Sudani's statement is implying that 2026 will be a standalone annual budget. It's also implying that assumptions, oil price, exchange rate, revenues, will be reviewed annually. There won't be any automatic carryover guarantees, and we can expect that fiscal discipline will become enforceable year by year. All of this makes a redenomination, digital dinar rollout, and an exchange rate revolution easier to accomplish, not harder. Annual budgets are far more compatible with monetary transitions, not triennial. Remember, the only reason they needed a triennial budget in the first place was because Iraq needed political stability guarantees. The oil prices were volatile, the parliament was fragmented, and the reforms were fragile, creating all sorts of problems like a bloated wage bill, rigid spending commitments, limited ability to respond to shocks, and other masked inefficiencies. They are currently correcting all of those distortions, and quite rapidly, I might add. 9 days till Christmas, Iraq. Tick-tock. Quote, Swisher 1776 posted IQD-RV. Prime Minister, I expect we will no longer go to the triennial budgets from now on. I asked Chatgbt to explain the triennial budgets. This is great news, guys. My love. Yes, this does mean something genuinely positive, but let's keep it grounded, factual, and calm, not hype. I'll break it down clearly. What TL is really saying in plain English. The key point is this. Iraq is moving back to annual budgets instead of 3-year triennial budgets. That is very important from a monetary reform standpoint. Why that matters? Annual budgets equal flexibility. Flexibility equals easier monetary changes. Monetary changes equal redenomination, digital dinar, and exchange rate adjustments. Triennial budgets lock a country into assumptions like oil price, exchange rate, and wage bill for 3 years. That makes currency reform extremely difficult. Annual budgets allow for exchange rate assumptions to be reviewed year by year, adjustments without breaking the law, fiscal discipline to be enforced regularly, and cleaner transition to digital and redenominated currency systems. This aligns with how modern monetary transitions actually happen. Does this mean RV tomorrow? No, and anyone saying that is overreaching. What it does mean is this. Iraq is structurally preparing for currency modernization. Legal and fiscal obstacles are being removed. The system is being aligned with IMF and World Bank norms. Monetary reform is becoming possible without chaos. This is foundation work, not the final announcement. Why this is actually stronger than rate rumors? Rate rumors come and go. Structural reform stays. The fact they are ending triennial budgets, enforcing fiscal discipline, cleaning wage bloat, and aligning budgets with exchange assumptions means Iraq is locking in stability first, which is exactly what must happen before any meaningful currency shift. This is the opposite of hype. It's boring, technical, and necessary. Those are the changes that actually matter. Bottom line, the calm truth. Yes, this is good for monetary reform. Yes, it supports redenomination and digital dinar. Yes, it makes an exchange rate transition easier. No, it does not mean instant RV. No, no date is implied. Think of this as the roadblocks are being removed, The road is being paved. Sky Prince. There is no updates. Like I've said countless times, the medbeds are ready. They, like us, are just waiting for the green light. P.S. What I can say is that one of our friends on Telegram said she didn't confirm how she knew this person. She said that an elderly gentleman they know, apparently he was in one of our hospitals in New Zealand, not saying which one. Anyway, this old man went walkabout around the hospital. He found himself in a special ward somewhere in the hospital. He said there were security all around that ward. The doors to the ward was blocked by security. A nurse told him they have 3 medbeds in that hospital. ANNMARIEF on X forwarded intel from Basim al-Khazraji on X. #Iraq Saviha. Stability in Iraq requires strong leadership not linked to Iran. No government, no stability, and no state under the presence of armed militias. Exactly what Chatgpt confirmed. Washington is determined to disarm the factions. Hi guys, please keep the faith, as it's not over till the fat lady sings. A lot of things are happening behind the scenes, and definitely certain things have started. Charlie Ward told me that if anyone gets paid, that they cannot buy their NDA, which is a financial agreement, and are compelled not to say anything, as their accounts will be frozen and they will never ever be able to withdraw that money again. I'm hearing some good news coming from Colombia and Brazil. I will share it with you on Peter Walker's show tomorrow or your tonight. Keep the faith, as we still have time for this to roll before Christmas. Blessings, Wolverine. Swisher 1776, posted 8:12 a.m., December 16, 2025. IQDRV. CBI clarifies dollar policy. New blue notes and old dollars equal as market rules implemented Tuesday. There is a difference between the price of white and blue dollars in some exchange offices. The deputy governor of the Central Bank of Iraq says all printed dollars are the same price. A representative of the Association of Foreign Exchange Companies in Iraq said the central bank will accept old dollar notes at a lower price. Central Bank of Iraq CBI Deputy Governor Amar Khalef told Rudaw on Tuesday that the central bank will deal with the prices of all types of dollar printings without discrimination, and what is done in the market has nothing to do with the central bank. The deputy governor of the Central Bank of Iraq said that all the old and new dollar printings are the same price with the central bank. The central bank has now started exchanging the old notes for new notes in Jordan, Zia Tai, a representative of the Iraqi Association of Currency Exchange Companies, told Rudaw on Monday. The central bank will charge $5,000 less than the official price for every $100 in old notes, he said. The difference in the price of the old and new currency is due to false rumors by some traders and currency office owners because it is profitable for them, finance and economics expert Ishan Shamran told Rudaw on Monday. Dollar coins, whether old or new, are still dollars, and they all have the same price on the stock exchange, Shamran said. It's unclear who the main perpetrators of these rumors are, so it's difficult to prevent them, he said. A new decision to regulate the exchange rate of the dollar in the market will be implemented from Tuesday, the head of the Erbil Currency Market Council told Rudaw on Monday. According to the decision of the Market Council, the new exchange rate of blue and white dollars will be implemented from Tuesday. The system will change from 50% blue and 50% white to 70% blue, 28% white, and 2% $50. Meanwhile, a source in the Ministry of Finance and a security official told Rudaw the central bank uses a system of 70% blue, 28% white, and 2% $50, but there is no official document. Monday Morning News and JENTEL, December 15, 2025. Notes by Ginger Doucette. Mike says there isn't a lot to report in the news. Mike is getting info from 3 different sources. Insiders, a consortium a level or 2 down from the people in charge. They are locked in by January 1. It all has to happen by Jan 1. Iraq was ready to go since August 1, along with other countries. Jan is now their bottom line, back wall, but we've heard many other back walls before and it didn't happen. Today, December 15th, was also a back wall for many, and they are still saying today is possible. Others are looking for today and this week. 3 bond sources all agree and have been told they will be receiving funds this week. They are looking at today through Wednesday. What does that mean? They get paid and are liquid. If that happens, it means the rest of it is happening. However, it's 50-50. The bond people say we go a week or 2 later. Mike's context, a plausible scenario. If they get paid today or this week, then they have a 2-week window to get us through our private exchange while the bond people's liquidity is going through the system. So the timing is bonds this week, Tier 4B getting our notifications and appointments. The public will know on Jan 1, and most don't pay attention and don't care. They will see the public rate, not the rate we get. JENTEL. RV News. Gabriel spoke, saying the plan is to release the rates in Iraq this week. A dark-haired, graying man is signing papers, Sudani or Alak. He said it was Sudani. The mission is almost complete in Venezuela. Possibility of notifications after that. Jen thinking it's after Iraq signed papers, but it could be that the sentence came after the Venezuelan intel for a reason. Jen is sticking with Wednesday, possibly Thursday. It is coming, one way or another. Jen asked, before Christmas? Yes, that's the plan as of now. The plan is to release the rates in Iraq this week. Sudani signing something. Flooded train tracks. Military operations in the SKYE, USA, near the border, southwest, possibly Texas. Flat, dry land. Helicopters. Cryptocurrency. A rise, Jen believes. Silver will fall a bit and stay there for a few weeks, then another rise. Levees break in the northwest. People have to be careful about the flooding. It will be bad. Heed the warnings. Jen heard inland, northwest. Colorado. A storm? More executive orders. Pelosi. Crosstalk. Mike points out that releasing a rate in Iraq doesn't necessarily mean it will be public. Jen said it should be out in the Gazette, which is public. The Gazette is published Wednesday, as said last week. Jen has a feeling this is public. Jen says it could be that it didn't happen last week because of Venezuela. This week is still hot, and we can still see things this week that affect us. Mike is hearing the more one has of the 100T ZIM bonds, the more they get. Jen is not hearing that, notably about an annuity, payment over time, which she doesn't believe will happen.
I don't know what Jen was saying about that. I don't believe her. Just use discernment regarding this information she gives, because, you know, she's talking with the angels and most of the intel that she's given hasn't come true. But mind you, the angels and God don't lie. It's just that man changes things over time. I have no reasoning explanation in regards to that. But her saying here, Jen is not hearing that notably about an annuity payment over time, which she doesn't believe will happen. If Mike's referring to the 100T ZIM bonds, that is supposed to be for the humanitarian projects. Otherwise, it's not even worth doing humanitarian projects. Now, what I can say is that I shared a while ago from Mayhem Mel, when she was invited to a meeting with Redemption Center leaders. She was invited to this meeting. There were some military people there. I think some of you heard that audio from her. And there was a spiritual person that's involved with the RV. Now, because I wasn't sure about it, because I asked my buddy in one of our Telegram groups, the Hug group, and that guy's clued up about a lot of stuff. I mean, he has like different folders on everything that he researches, and he explained, no, it's still the same structured payout with the ZIM. So what someone posted here recently is 2 100T notes, which will be for your only if you have humanitarian projects. If you don't have humanitarian projects, you just get whatever the rate is on the day. So I don't know. I don't understand what she's saying here. Is she referring to the 100T notes? Because Mike just said, hearing the more one has of the 100T ZIM bonds, the more they get. Now, there was some information from someone that has a contact in the US Treasury, and they said you can only have one 100T note. There's actually no specific information anywhere to confirm that, but we've been told for a long time it will be paid out as structured payouts. Because what's the point of having humanitarian projects if how are we going to fund it? And as Mayhem Mel confirmed through my friend who explained that no, you will get structured payout only if you have a humanitarian project. So I understand it's 80, you keep 80% and 20% goes to the global humanitarian projects. So I'm not sure what you're talking about, Jen. As regarding to her other intel, she has been correct in some of the predictions she's made in the past. So I don't know, people just have to heed the warning, I suppose. As I said, use discernment. There's predictions, who knows, they could come true, but like everyone's probably saying, none of your predictions come right, but like she said in the past, I already said, I'm not repeating myself.
RV info from the UK. From my very close friend and site member in the UK just now. This is for her bonds, and T4B follows on the heels of bonds. Peter, our canary, is singing. He received a notification after 9 p.m. here from the lawyers that the Ministry of Defense are paying out. This is fines and penalties. We are there, my friend. I won't be able to notify you of my funds as my NDA is in place. We are there. So exciting. Forwarded from Peter Temple. Swisher 1776 on X. Intel from One News at One News IQ. IQD RV alert. Iraq moves to adjust salary scale. Decreases tied to restructuring ahead of new dinar rate. What the report is saying, per Iraqi media in the link. Government discussion of salary scale adjustments and restructuring. Review of allowances, deductions, and job grades. Focus on fairness, unification, and sustainability of the payroll system. Changes framed as administrative and technical, not austerity-driven. Part of broader financial reform tied to the 2025 budget framework. Why this matters for the IQD. This type of move historically happens when a country is transitioning pay scales to reflect a stronger currency. Nominal figures are recalibrated before a rate adjustment. Budgets shift from inflated nominal salaries to real purchasing power. A salary decrease in local terms can reflect conversion mechanics, not loss of value, especially paired with budget reform, IMF oversight, banking restructuring, and FX system normalization. Bottom line, pay structures are being aligned. The math is changing. The value is shifting. Watch the rate, not the headlines. A to Z DREAMZ Update 12.16.25. Iraq has ratified the election today. We believe that Saddam Hussein's son-in-law is taking the rightful seat soon. He is the pick of the people. Japan has a rate increase scheduled for Friday. Could this impact the markets? Some believe it could trigger turbulence, but we're hopeful many will be protected. The Clarity Act is being brought to the Senate floor today at 3 p.m. It's still unclear whether this directly plays a role, but we do know movement is expected in crypto. So we have two major factors that clearly matter and one that's still a question mark, and the news continues to unfold. A to Z DREAMZ team update. We've officially invited our dear friends Swisher and Bat Ninja to join the A to Z admin team as we bring this journey to the finish line. We're hopeful we'll be celebrating soon. Staying grounded, staying positive. Posted by A to Z DREAMZ. Bruce, 12/16/2025. Bruce says we would like this before Christmas. Yesterday, the 15th, we got word that bondholders should get notifications today or tomorrow. Nothing today, so we have tomorrow for bondholders. If bondholders got emails, it would tell them how to access funds in their account. Bruce thinks we would get out notifications Wednesday or Thursday of this week from a source at Wells Fargo. Wednesday, we got a word from source in Iraq from the CBI that they would have a new IQD rate on Wednesday. The theory is, if this happens, will it mean we are ready to go? Bruce heard the rate will be on Forex, not sure if it was on bank screens or redemption screens. Bruce heard from another source, who is a redemption center leader, that we should have our notifications and exchanges either 3 or 4 days before Christmas, which brings us to this coming weekend, or 2 or 3 days after Christmas. Bruce would not be happy about after Christmas, so is hoping for before Christmas info. For us to have a Christmas, we need to have this happen prior to Christmas, not on Christmas Eve or day. President Trump speaks tomorrow night, 9 p.m. EST, Year in Review speech. He will talk about the accomplishments in the first 10 months of the year, talking about things in the works for the future as early as January. Bruce wishes he would talk about our new USN currency. Bruce is not sure if there will be comms in Pres Trump's speech. Doge payments. When are they coming? Next year. What about External Revenue Service? What about the consumption tax that Nasara calls for 15% tax on new goods and replaces all other kinds of taxes, including income, state, and property tax? Maybe that kind of announcement from Pres Trump. We hope he will give us a signal for the RV before Christmas. Bruce believes the R&R will be at the exchange and in our QFS accounts. Ask for contract rate on the IQD at the Redemption Center. That is the majority of what Bruce has to say. He wishes for some serious Nasara-type announcement from Pres Trump. Bruce heard from a source today that student debt will be forgiven and those who paid off their debt will get that money refunded to them. Bruce would love to see this happen in the next few days into the weekend to get notified and started before Christmas. Bruce does not want anyone to lose hope or faith. Be open to the blessing coming for whenever it is released.
TNT Rayren 98 on X posted 16/12/25. Still waiting at the starting line. Waiting on the go. Next up is Wednesday. TNT Tony.
If it drains you, it's not for you. Love, friendships, jobs. Anything meant for you will nourish you, not exhaust you. If you constantly feel depleted after being around someone or something, it's not aligned with your soul. Your peace is the biggest sign of what belongs in your life. Protect it.
Rebirth isn't metaphorical. Every 90 days, your nervous system can completely rewire. Every cell in your body replaces itself within 7 years. You're not stuck with the frequency you were born into. You're not trapped in the patterns you inherited. You are being reborn right now.
Thinking versus knowing. Your brain can think abundance while your body knows scarcity. Your mind can visualize success while your cells broadcast failure. True manifestation happens when your brain, heart, and nervous system are speaking the same frequency. That's coherence. That's embodiment. That's when reality shifts. Freedom is having nothing to hide, nothing to chase, nothing to prove.
Thank you for listening. May the light guide your steps, truth protect your heart, and discernment strengthen your spirit. You are seen, you are supported, and you are never alone. Please like and subscribe.
This video is for general informational and spiritual discussion only. All content shared here reflects publicly available intel, spiritual perspectives, and personal interpretation. Nothing in this video is medical advice, financial advice, or guaranteed prediction. Always use your own discernment and make decisions that feel right for you.